and observations about human nature, fun bits of humor, and advice from her dog. She is married to Bob, who is enjoying a boy cold now, may not be with us. As a leader, she's a fierce advocate for what's beneficial to the area. And I can imagine that if she were walking in the woods in the Grey Highlands and a four-legged cougar approached her on the path, she would, against all advice, look him in his blue eyes and say, "Are you really sure that this is a smart thing for you to do to stop me on my walk?" And he would look at her and go, "Oh, Lynn, it's you. Sorry, I'm just going to turn around and go back. No harm done, right?" And as he turned around and was walking, he turned his head backward, look over his shoulder and say, "Really liked the column last week," because even the wild ones in Grey Highlands respect her. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present my triplet, Lynn Silverton.
I muted myself. Thank you, Kit, for introducing Lynn. Now we ask District Governor Jim Ferguson to do the honor to introduce Craig as an active member and Lynn as an associate member.
Yeah, thanks very much, Elly. So Lynn, welcome to the Rotary Club of Canada 1. We're pleased to have you here as an associate member, and with your background in Rotary, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our E-Club. Started in 2012, formally chartered on February the 23rd of 2013, which, as you know, is the anniversary date of Rotary, which started in 1905 on the same day. Our club was the very first E-Club in Canada, founded by Charter President and past District Governor Elly Contreras, and has been very active in service ever since. Our main community service projects have been through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, where we've been supplying books to mostly Native children in the Beaufort Sea area for years now. Internationally, the club was able to partially fund and coordinate the building of a water pipeline project in Sabarana, Honduras, that totaled over $120,000 US. These are just two examples of what our E-Club has accomplished over the years. We have members all over the globe in areas like the United States, Guatemala, England, and Germany, for example. But even though we're spread out, we still do some amazing acts of service in the world. We're excited to have you here as an associate member in our E-Club and are looking forward to your contributions in our committees. Welcome to the Rotary family. And Craig, I just want to talk a little bit about Rotary itself. Craig, Rotary is an international organization of business and professional people with Rotary clubs in over 200 countries and 1.2 million members. When one joins Rotary, they become a part of a worldwide fraternity. You can travel throughout most of the world and find a Rotary club within easy distance. Rotarians will welcome you warmly, even though the language may be different, the food unusual, and the location far from home. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying by each Rotarian of his occupation as an opportunity to serve society. It also encourages and fosters the application of the ideal of service by every Rotarian to his personal, business, and community life, and the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional people united in the ideal of service. I ask you to judge yourself by the Rotary 4-way test, and we'll all say it together. Of all the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all
concerned?
Will it build
Goodwill and better friendships?
will it be
Be beneficial to all concerned.
The Rotary is much more than a networking club, although that you will find that it will make strong friendships and valuable business connections here. Rotarians are committed to making the world a better place by applying their time, effort, and financial resources to local and international service projects. In our district, Rotarians have shaped and molded their communities for years, with some examples being the spearheading of the formation of the Fort Edmonton Park and starting the Rotary Employment Partnership, which led to Inclusion Alberta and the employment of 600 adults with disabilities and much, much more. So on behalf of Rotary District 5370, the third largest geographical area in the Rotary world, filled with over 2,000 Rotarians and 100 clubs, I welcome you to our family. Congratulations, Craig. You're at this moment the newest Rotarian in the world. Congratulations.
Okay, so we're now moving on to our next part of the program. We're a little bit running behind, so I will talk very fast. As foundation chair for the Rotary Club, it is my honor to introduce to you Carolyn Ferguson, Major Gift Officer for our Rotary Foundation for Zone 28. Carolyn has worked for the past 10 years in this role, which spans 16 districts across 4 countries, Canada, USA, Russia, and France. Carolyn works full-time as a part of a staff team of 12 major gift officers in North America, of which 9 are regionally based inside their own zones, and 3 are based out of world headquarters in Evanston, Illinois. She's the only Canadian-based employee for Rotary International. Her office is located in Ancaster, Ontario. As a major gift officer, Carolyn works primarily one-on-one with Rotarians to invite the support of our foundation mission through a major gift, bequest, or plant gift. She's a second-generation Rotarian. Her father is a past district governor in District 6290, Ontario. Carolyn joined Rotary in 2004 and is past president of the Rotary Club of Ancaster AM. Currently, she is a charter member of the newly chartered Global Passport E-Club and serves as a secretary. She's a multiple Paul Harris Fellow and Bequest Society member for our foundation. She and her family have enjoyed hosting 11 youth exchange students. She's a member of the Canadian Association of Gift Planners, and prior to her employment with the Rotary Foundation, Carolyn spent many years working in fund development with the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Ontario. Carolyn is married to Richard Ferguson, and they have 2 daughters. Carolyn's oldest daughter, Madeline, is a former youth exchange student to Spain and short-term exchange student to Italy. Her younger daughter, Cassidy, participated in a short-term exchange to Australia in 2017. And by the way, I have suggested to Carolyn to connect her daughters to our hopefully soon to be chartered satellite club for young leaders. So please join me in welcoming Carolyn Ferguson.
Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Foundation Month. So good to be here. I'm going to share my screen, so just give me 1 second here. All right. We are in business. Let me just move this out of the way. Oop. Great. So it is my pleasure to be here. District Governor Jim, past District Governor Elly, Ross, Tim, Tanya. I hope I got everybody, and all other family of Rotary on the meeting. It's good to be here. Nice to see everyone's smiling faces. So I'm excited. I get to talk about the Rotary Foundation.
You might want to take it off of presenter mode.
Oh, am I in presenter mode?
Yes.
Oh, thanks so much. Tim, I love how you have my back. That is so great.
That's my job.
How about this way? Is that working?
Perfect.
Thank you. So, you know, I switched my camera, so thank you for pointing out that that also impacts my display of my presentation. So good to know. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. I want to talk about the foundation, and I really want to focus on impact and innovation. And I am going to keep an eye on the time so that I know that we can move on some other exciting things as well before we wrap up the meeting today. So what are the three things I want to talk about in our short time together? I want to focus on innovation and updates on the foundation. I want to talk about how your gifts are bringing positive change in the world. And I want to talk about how we recognize the vital support that makes all of that possible. So we can't talk about the foundation really without talking about Arch Clump for just a minute. So he was brought into the spotlight a few years back when we celebrated 100 years of our Rotary Foundation. Many of you may know that he served as Rotary's 6th international president, and he suggested that Rotary start the endowment, which became the precursor to the foundation that we know today. And like many of you, you know, he was full of great ideas, and he went on to write the Constitution for RI. It was his idea to divide the clubs into districts, create the office of the district governor, and to establish the annual district conference. He was quite a remarkable man. I've learned a lot of things in the last 10 years working as a major gift officer, but one thing that really stands out to me is that people give to people. They really give to support a reason, a feeling, a cause, and rarely are they giving out of obligation or duty. So asking for support is really about telling the stories of impact. How can I identify how my gifts are making a difference through Rotary? The better we are at helping to make these connections, the more inspired our members will be in wanting to invest in our work. So I ask you to think about, during my presentation, what are the stories that are unique to your communities in 5370? What challenges would you like to highlight and what would you like to share with your club when you invite support for the foundation? So often we focus on how to make the gift and not so much why be inspired to give to Rotary. As I speak to our Rotary Foundation major donors and Bequest Society members, they tell me a lot of things about why they give. But really, often their reasoning boils down to three main things. It's impact, trust, and choice. And I'll just tell you a little bit about those three things. Certainly our impact, a great example of this is really looking at how far we have come with our work in polio eradication, which I'm going to touch on very quickly. But just in one sentence alone, since 1988, we know that nearly 3 billion children have been given the oral polio vaccine. 3 billion children whose lives have been transformed and changed because we have committed ourselves to this purpose. That is about serious impact. Trust. We have a proven legacy of trust. We have transparency, we have stewardship, and we have good investment practices. But I always say, don't take my word for it. I encourage you to type in your search engine, Charity Navigator and the Rotary Foundation, and you will see our perfect score of 100. Rotary scores highly with them, and not only last year, but for 9 years in a row. We're also, interestingly, on their top 10 list of best charities that everybody knows about. We are listed number 3. And this is really a reflection of your work in your communities across the globe. And the last thing that our supporters at Major Donor and Bequest often tell me about is choice. We have one Rotary Foundation, but we have so many programs. And really this gives you the opportunity to really pick how you want to change the world through our work. So how do we serve? Really, when you talk about what we do with Rotary and our foundation, we talk about impact. We bring positive change in the world in 3 ways. Either we're eradicating polio, we're building peace through the Rotary Peace Centers, or we're enabling grants. They're either district grants or they're global grants, and across all of our areas of focus. And I want to touch on these 3 things as well. Polio. So what is the good news with polio? Well, our work and donations since 1988 have resulted in a worldwide reduction, as we said, of 99.9%. But what does it really mean? It does mean that 18 million children are walking and alive today because of our work. In terms of updates and innovation, though, you may recall that we had 3 types of the wild polio virus when we started this journey. Type 2 was eradicated in 2015, type 3 was officially eradicated in 2019, and now we're just focusing on 1 wild polio virus that is active. And while we had 3 countries that remained on the endemic list, we all celebrated in August when Africa was certified polio-free. So really great news there as well. And as you see on the screen, new to our Global Polio Eradication Partnership is Gavi. And they have been instrumental in supporting routine vaccinations in many of the areas with us. Also exciting is that we're going to see the launch of a new vaccine that has been driven by research funded through the Gates Foundation, and it will address cases of polio that are from the vaccine itself. So vaccine-derived polio cases, this vaccine will not allow the virus to revert back to paralysis, thereby eliminating the incidence of polio-derived vaccine cases. So this is a really big game changer for us as well. Also, despite COVID and the enormous challenges that it has presented for us on a number of fronts, our work with polio eradication has been instrumental in stemming the spread of COVID. And I'll just highlight a couple of things for you here. Our global polio laboratory network has been used for testing for polio and COVID-19. Our call center in Pakistan received calls for polio and COVID-19 cases. Our community mobilizers educate on polio and COVID-19 prevention. Our logistics officers for polio vaccine were distributing PPE, personal protective equipment. Our vaccine carriers provided by Rotary were used to transport COVID-19 specimen samples, especially in Pakistan. And our Rotary resource centers are being used as COVID-19 testing sites. We also provided food rations to a number of needy families all over Nigeria and Pakistan in response to COVID-19. So we have done a lot through our infrastructure to support COVID-19 response needs. And again, it all comes back to the legacy that we are building and leaving through our work with polio eradication. Rotary is also building peace. And for those of you who have not heard of this program, Rotary created the Rotary Peace Centers in 2002 to identify and train highly qualified individuals to become agents of peace. So until early 2020, we had 6 Rotary Peace Centers at 7 prestigious universities around the world, the majority of them offering a master's program in peace and conflict prevention and resolution. One location was offering a certificate program. What are the updates and innovation regarding our Peace Centers program? Well, good news, the certificate program is expanding. It's moving from a 3-month resident course to a 1-year multifaceted course, and will focus on peace, development, social impact, and leadership. The other great news is that in January of this year, the trustees approved Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda as a new host site for the next of the certificate centers, with its first cohort of students expected in the 2021 year. So this expansion, I'll remind you, has been made entirely possible through the generosity of Rotarians, friends of Rotary, who believe that we can really make a change in building peace in the world. The last year, we had 96 candidates who were selected for the program this year, but due to COVID, we had 69 fellows that were actually funded. But what is really unique about this last group, the 69, is that this cohort represented 35 different countries, and the average age was 36 years old. So it just gives you a sense of how we're really having an impact here. And Rotary members are big thinkers. I'm sure that's no surprise to any of you, especially what Jim mentioned, your e-club has already accomplished in terms of big scale impact. But certainly our work continues to grow, and so does our vision. And with that comes the need for funding. And very simply, the demand from Rotarians for Rotary grant funding has actually doubled in the last 5 years. The evidence is really in the numbers. In 2014, grants awarded out were just shy of 50 million. And then fast forward to 2018, it was over 86 million, so almost double. And a recent zone presentation, Rotary Foundation Vice Chair Mike Webb said that we're seeing an 83% increase in global grant applications for funding compared to an 8% increase in contributions. So we really have to remember that in order for us to do good in the world, we got to keep that gas in the gas tank that moves us forward. The good news here is that Canadians are deeply invested, and we are actually listed last year as number 6 in the top 30 giving countries for Rotary. So again, I just want to thank you for what you've done to enable our mission work. Here's a snapshot of some of the great stuff that's been going on last year, just quickly highlighting for you. This pie chart represents how we've been active in bringing positive change in the world through our grant work and those 6 areas of focus. I know it's really busy. So just having a look at the top circle to start, you can see this is where our grant funding has been allocated out for last year. You'll notice the large orange area. That is $59.4 million for disease prevention and treatment. Almost half of our global grant spending last year was dedicated to our work in disease prevention and treatment. And it's not going to be a surprise to any of you that this is also directly related to our wish to want to respond to COVID-19 needs in our communities. Also big in our work last year was our area of focus, water, sanitation, and hygiene at 15 million, and economic and community development at 11 million. Now, the lower circle talks a little bit about the top 10 recipient countries by grant. So based on where the actual projects are taking place in the world, this is a little bit of a look at where benefit is happening from the work just last year. Top 10 countries, nice to see United States is represented in there too as being a recipient of large-scale global grants. And of course, Canada is also a recipient, although not large enough to merit being in this little circle at this time. It's growing. One of the largest countries that benefited from our work last year was India, 21 million. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that India also ranks number 2 in the top 30 countries of giving to the Rotary Foundation. So really, really a lot of work going on, nice benefit all over the globe here. What else is new? What other innovations are happening here? Trustees approved the official launch of our 7th area of focus. So bear in mind, this will be adding to this nice, this graphic for next year. Launching in July of 2021 is our focus on environmental sustainability. And to ensure that we can continue to think big and do big things in the world, the trustees also have launched over the last few years a major gift initiative to build standalone endowments for each of our areas of focus, typically around the 25 million mark. And again, this will provide not only Rotarians and Friends of Rotary making contributions to those standalone endowments to be directly invested in that area of focus and the project work, but it also allows for us to continue to think big because we know that the funding will be there. I often get asked about what is the best way to direct a major gift or a bequest. Of course, this is not a question that I can ask. It's a real personal decision that each individual makes based on how they want to have impact through our foundation. But what I do typically highlight is the main ways that we actually fund our project work, which is really the annual fund and the endowment. The annual fund has often been described as the lifeblood of the foundation because it's uniquely invested and it helps our global and district grant projects to go into action. It keeps our administration costs low, which is really important. And it's the one way a portion of your gift can come back to your district and possibly your club and home community. So then this really does allow you to give where you live and still support Rotary. Rotary's endowment is the other way that we fund a lot of our project work, and it's a permanent source of funds. It's the one gift that continues to give. So last year, our endowment fund report highlighted that, in illustrating that we had just over $15 million that came back into action from endowed gifts, what we call our spendable earnings. It's a vital source of income for long-term planning. And it's kind of like the analogy of the apple and the apple tree. When you give to the annual fund, it's like giving the apples, you're helping people immediately in need. And when you give to the endowment, you're actually gifting the apple tree, knowing that it will continue to produce for years to come. And of course, we have a goal to build our endowment to $2 billion and $25 million by the year 2025. And again, to ensure that we have that future funding in place. So at club level, we often talk about recognition levels, titles such as sustaining member, every Rotarian every year, Paul Harris Society, Paul Harris Fellows. All of these categories recognize the important support that comes to enable our mission work. There are two additional categories that we don't often discuss, which are major donors and Arch Club Society. And this is where I focus my work for the foundation. These are levels of support that are often achieved in the very same ways as other levels of recognition are, through cash, credit card, appreciated securities, and sometimes real estate. The foundation provides anonymity, which is also very important to note. Major donor recognition, there are 4 levels, different levels, starting with contributions at US $10,000 or greater. And we also, it's important to point out that couples in Rotary should be identified so that they can be linked, so their individual contributions can always pool towards this level of recognition together. And last year we had 66 new major donors across Canada, which is 12% more generosity than we had in the previous year, which is truly remarkable. The other thing that I spend a lot of time with is helping Rotarians to identify the Rotary Foundation or the Rotary Foundation Canada as a beneficiary in an estate plan. And when you do that with a gift of US 10,000 or greater, you become part of our Bequest Society family. Also last year, we launched our Legacy Society family, which recognizes a future gift of US 1 million or greater. And what's also very unique for our foundation and for this type of giving is the opportunity to personalize a gift either now or in the future by having a named endowed fund within our foundation whenever that commitment or gift is US $25,000 or greater. And that $25,000 threshold is something of note for all you Paul Harris Society members, because a gift of that nature in your will ensure that your Paul Harris Society contribution can continue beyond your lifetime. So in closing, I just want to highlight again, we've talked about the programs that bring positive change in the world, our innovation, our impact, and the importance of recognizing and thanking the donors that provide such tremendous support to make it all possible. And I'll end with a quote from Arch Clump when he said, "We should not live for ourselves alone, but for the joy in doing good for others." So thank you very much for the opportunity to join you. And I know we have some exciting things awaiting my close of my remarks, so I'll stop talking now. And stop sharing. There you go. All right, so over to you, Elly. Am I to keep going, or are you stepping in?
Well, I was hoping Tammy would go next, but if Tammy's not ready, I will continue. I asked Tammy to thank you, but I don't think she got my message. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for always being there when I send you emails, questions. Foundation as a chair has been new to me, but I do believe in it, and I believe in all the wonderful things that we're able to do. So when, always when there was money showing up somewhere, I thought, you just don't apply that money from a club to a project. You apply for a grant, right? So that's what we did when we got 2 clubs telling me that they had some money for Project Amigo. So I said, why don't we just see if we can apply for a global grant? And that's what we did. And these are some of the wonderful things that we actually can do. And I was hoping that today I would be bringing much happier news than we intended to, because We started out with a goal of $100,000, and then we missed out by 12 hours on the Canadian grant. And then we did get through on the global grant, and we had amazing support from a lot of clubs in our district, in British Columbia and in Alaska. And we thought we would get that global grant. And I was made to believe that we actually did get qualified for the global grant. And we were all excited. And I notified all the clubs, the supporting clubs, that yes, we got it. And we got a total of $70,000. Well, it turned out that we did not qualify for the grant after all. So after crying and a few bottles of wine, we thought, okay, you know, we'll move on. We still have, I think, about $40,000, and we still have the global grant, the district grant from District 50 to 70, thanks to Wayne, who's helped us a lot. Donna Dukeman also helped us a lot. But the person that I really think needs a lot of recognition, who did a lot of work to that, but that's when I would like Carolyn to kind of talk about that, please, before I move on to the next slide. Carolyn.
Can I say any names or?
Not yet.
Okay, so I will start by just saying Paul Harris Fellow recognition has been decorating our Rotary Foundation's passionate supporters for many years. I believe that Paul Harris would be deeply moved to see what Rotarians and Friends of Rotary have been doing and continue to do in the name of service above self. Again, these funds, when in order to be honored as a Paul Harris Fellow, someone must contribute sums of at least $1,000 to the Foundation Annual Fund Polio or an approved global grant. And these funds can be used to honor others while being applied to the amazing work that has distinguished our foundation as an organization that provides hope, health, peace around the world. So becoming a Paul Harris Fellow is a tremendous accomplishment and honor, as these contributions impact and touch countless lives. So are we ready to move into?
Sure.
Go ahead and flip your screen. Tonight's first recipient is Carol Zemp. It is my privilege to tell you just a little bit more about this Paul Harris Fellow family member. Carol Zemp joined the Rotary Club of Whitecourt in 2018 and serves currently as its secretary. Also in 2018, Carol participated in her first volunteer week at Project Amigo together with her daughter, Megan. She left Project Amigo with a lot of enthusiasm, was determined to encourage her club to support it. And in the fall of 2019, she contacted past District Governor Elly, mentioning that club had raised $5,000 for Project Amigo, which was combined with another donation to allow for a global grant application. She graciously offered get the ball rolling and agreed to have her club serve as a sponsoring club. And after spending numerous hours working on this, meeting with the committee, learning all about the process, all while she worked at the grant application right up until midnight, the night of the deadline, she wanted to make sure that everything was just perfect. She never gave up. So please join me with the honor of, on behalf of all of you, in congratulating Carol on her Paul Harris Fellow +1. And I believe Nevis is there to pin her, is that correct?
I am.
Okay, go for it.
Well, congratulations, Carol. Welcome to the club.
Wow.
You deserve it.
Oh, I wish I could.
Thank you so much. This is a total surprise.
Well, that was the intention. You worked so hard, you know, and I know how difficult this was one frustration after another, but you know, we're still gonna get a lot of benefit out of this.
Yeah, we will.
We'll be working with Kirk on how we can best utilize the money, spend the money that we have raised, and we learned so much. We learned a lot. We know how how to do it differently next time, if there's going to be a next time.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the hard work that you put into this. Thank you. Next, I would like to, and I had really hoped that Bryce would be here, but I'd like to invite District Governor Jim to talk a little bit about the Paul Harris for
Sure.
Bryce.
Thanks,
Bryce
Elly.
is, Bryce is here, Elly.
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Should have been a surprise.
So Bryce has been a member of our E-Club the last couple of years, and I've been working very, very much hand in hand with Bryce and Pranita and Katana. When COVID first hit in the spring, and all of our plans, we had years of plans for an in-person district conference, and they were all pushed aside. Bryce stepped in and he took control and charge, and we were able to put on the virtual Vision 2020 district conference, the first ever in our district, and he did a remarkably good job. So I'm very, very proud and happy to present you, Bryce, with Paul Harris. There's the pin. And when I come down to your house for the next recording, I'll bring the pin and the Paul Harris Award.
Wow.
Congratulations. On behalf of the E-Club, we really appreciate you having being a member in our E-Club and all the work that you've done to help us out.
Thank you so much. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that either. Oh, geez.
I love
It was fun. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. And I'm just glad that we were able to pull something off and that people could benefit from it. That was the whole goal. And we got really good feedback. So we're super happy that everybody enjoyed it. And I look forward to the next one.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bryce. I'd
Thank
like to
you.
give it back to Carolyn to present the next one, the next Paul Harris Award.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. So I'm pleased to recognize, if you can switch your screen.
It won't let me.
It won't let you?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So I'm pleased to recognize Tammy Waugh, who has distinguished herself as a Paul Harris Fellow +5. Tammy joined your Rotary Club in May of 2013. Over the last few years, she's served as your club secretary and has done an enormous amount of work getting all of your records organized. This year, she serves as your club president and continues to do all the secretarial tasks. Your club has benefited so much from having Tammy as a leader. She's also set a solid example for many others of service above self. Thank you, Tammy, for your time, your talent, and your treasures to enhance the lives of others. And on behalf of your club, your district, and the Rotary Foundation trustees, I thank you and welcome you to receive your Paul Harris Fellow Pin +5. Please pin yourself if you have it. And wear your pin with pride and honor all the lives that you will touch through your generosity.
Oh, thank you so much, Carolyn. I really appreciate that. It's my honor to give to Rotary.
Marcella, we
Thank
are
you.
next. Maybe you should pin us.
Very
Next.
good. All right.
Okay.
So here we are. On behalf of the Rotary Foundation trustees, I have the honor of expressing deep appreciation for a couple that has made a substantial contribution towards Rotary's mission of doing good in the world. In doing so, they support and honor the Foundation's humanitarian and educational initiatives, which make a difference in many lives. Past District Governor Elly and Ramiro Contreras. Active members in 2 different Rotary clubs, together they bring service above self to a higher level. And I will just mention them briefly. Elly's been an active member for 24 years, serving as governor in 0506, and currently, as you know, serving as your E-Club Foundation chair. Ramiro, a 26-year member and past club president himself, have attended several Rotary International conventions together. It is no secret that they are passionate about their work with Project Amigo and their partnership with Rotary. So it gives me great pleasure to announce that together their contributions qualify them for Major Donor Level 1. And please know that you're part of a very special group of donors dedicated to improving communities near and far, and appreciation for your significant investment. The trustees would like to express their gratitude by presenting you with a major donor crystal and a lapel pin. So if you go ahead and pin yourselves, we would, and please accept our collective appreciation. Very nice. Yay, great.
Marcella is also a Paul Harris recipient, and she's pinning us.
Oh, lovely.
Wow. Thank you, Carolyn, for doing this. Oh, okay. Next, what's next? Okay, the polio. Oh, I should have put another slide in there. You know, as you all know, or some of you know, that I had a really difficult time coming up with something for Polio Day, and I thought, oh, I can't think of anything. I was just brain dead. And I went for a walk on the beach, and all of a sudden I had an idea, and I threw it at President Tammy. So we came up with a polio quiz, and we sent it out to our district, and we received, I think, 15 submission to the quiz. But I also put out a challenge. I say, I will challenge all Rotarians in our district to make a donation to Polio Plus. And altogether, $4,500 was raised for Polio Plus. And when I needed to get some kind of a catch for the Polio Plus quiz, right? So Carolyn told me we had all these points and you can award anybody with Paul Harris. So we thought, okay, we will award Paul Harris to 2 people that have the highest number of correct answers. So, Carolyn.
Okay.
There.
So, congratulations to Brenda Tyson for knowing so much about our work to eradicate polio. In my books, Brenda has always been a winner and no quiz was required. A 12-year member of the Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast, Brenda is currently serving as the Interact Advisor for a local high school group, a position that she's held for many years. Last year, she served as a Rotaract Advisor. She's been a part of the District Foundation team as an annual fund chair. She's been a past president, past foundation chair, club secretary, district secretary. Of course, she's married to past district governor Ross Tyson, which we can't help. I'm very sorry about that. But you know, together, they've done so much. They're joint major donors and Bequest Society members. And I think Brenda has done something every single year that she's been involved as a member. And Brenda, welcome to the next level of Paul Harris Fellow recognition, Paul Harris Fellow +7. Do you have your pin there? You'd like to put it on?
No.
No pin. Oh, you got it. Oh, yay.
It's in the mail.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. I'm a sucker for a game.
Excellent. And our final slide, thank you. Tonight's final Paul Harris Fellow recipient is also knows a great deal about our polio work as another winner of the polio quiz. And we are reminded as we prepare to present this last Paul Harris Fellow recognition that this pin has decorated presidents, philanthropists, heads of state, entrepreneurs, businessmen, industrialists, teachers, you name it, Rotarians, all a group of compassionate, community-minded individuals who have been honored with the recognition that we have bestowed tonight. And finally, to Greg Fenton. So Greg is a 5-year member of the Rotary Club of Jasper and part of a Rotary couple, as his wife Libby is also an 11-year member of the same club. I am going to just highlight that featured in an article in the Jasper local newspaper, December of 2019, Their family work to improve education in Africa was profiled. And when I mention family, it's not only Greg and his spouse, it's also his parents, who are retired school teachers in Jasper and decided 20 years ago to make a difference as volunteers with Green Hills Academy in Kigali. And it's also involving Greg's children. The article highlighted that Greg and his wife were stationed for a time in Rwanda, working with Rotary Club International Committee there. Daughter Toby handled the organization's banking and other administration. Son Neil Jr. managed the website. And Saskatoon-based Tracy, along with her husband Marlo, helped with transportation and supplies. So Greg, thank you for all you've done and continue to do in service through Rotary. Please put on your Paul Harris Fellow +1 pin and accept our collective congratulations and appreciation tonight. Thank you.
I certainly will. Thank you very much for the honor, and it was a lot of fun. Congratulations to the E-Club of Canada for coming up with a great idea, Elly. It was fun, and we both had fun doing it, and encouraged many others in our club. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like very many people participated, but it was a lot of fun. We got out. You see the picture we got out for our End Polio Day, World Polio Day walk, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So thank you.
Wonderful. Tammy. No sound. Unmute Tammy.
Sorry about that. I'm having sound difficulties here tonight. I need my technician. So I'd really like to thank everyone for coming tonight. As you can see, it's been a very full agenda, but we appreciate the support and always have a lot of fun meeting new people and taking part in these types of activities. Thank you everyone for the congratulations and all of the winners tonight. I think we're all winners, and we always say this is the magic of Rotary. So our next fellowship assembly will be in December after our annual general meeting. We always meet on the third Tuesday of the month. So we usually do something fun then. If you'd like to join us, just see the link on our website page. And sorry, we've run a few minutes over, but if anybody has any questions or would like to stay and talk with Carolyn for a minute, it was great to have you, Carolyn. We really appreciated your information. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks very much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending.
Pleasure.
Come soon, Craig.
Yeah,
Next
bye-bye.
one is waiting for you.
Guys.
Thanks, Elly, and everyone at E-Club. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Judy Brown.
Hi, sorry I was late. I had to also attend the Ahiheek Rotary Club because I had to promote our Christmas fiesta to get people to come and help out. And the only way I could do it is to attend their meeting for the first part. So I have been here for all of Carolyn's presentation and all of the wonderful awards. Congratulations, everyone.
Good night. Thanks, everyone. I'm off to my
Thank
board.
you, Kit.